You're watching the Columbus Sports Network.
The regular season butterflies are gone. But now it's time to run the gamut of emotion postseason style. All the work brought us to this point of the season. A win, and you keep going. A loss, and it's time to pack it in. The breakaways, the heart-stopping moments. Everything becomes magnified. Who wants the ball? And who wants it more?
Look at this, and it's Wolf breaking away.
It's playoff time on CSN.
6 seconds left to go. I don't believe what I just saw.
The Cruisers of Groveport, what a story this year, as it's now time for the Division I teams to get ready to do battle. As CSN brings you the playoffs presented by Sports Medicine Grant and Orthopedic Associates. Once again, glad to have you with us, everybody, along with the quarterback, Matt DeRazio, Matt Waddell, and Chris Miles on the sideline. I'm Eric Thacker. Yes, last night we had a big ball game with the Sales. Tonight, Division I, Brookhaven, the city school that has been on a roll since they were the first City League team to win a state title in '04, and then Groveport, after dismantling the team from Hilliard, the Derby team, getting 7 turnovers in that ball game, just dismantling them, come in with all kinds of momentum. What a ball game to kick off the Division I playoffs, Matt.
Eric, momentum is the key. You said it. Both teams have come in on a win streak. They have momentum, and the key is who can carry it on tonight.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket pairings here in Division I. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, Division I in Central Ohio is just loaded. You really cannot pick a favorite. When you look up and down 1 through 8, it's anybody's ball game.
Now, Brookhaven is a team, again, maybe not getting the respect that they deserve because, as you know, historically, City League teams, not a lot of eyeballs watch them. But I tell you what, this team is talented and it is fast, and Coach Tom Blake believes that this team can make another run to a state title.
Well, there's playmakers all over the field, and it starts with Rodney Stewart and Braswell at quarterback, and it just goes on from there. So they are definitely loaded and ready for this playoff run.
Both teams like to run the ball. That brings us up to our stars to watch. Groveport runs a similar offense like DeSales does. They run by committee, but they do have one that stands out amongst the others.
Yeah, Leveon Bell. He's got over 700 yards rushing this year and 5 touchdowns, and he will carry the bulk of the load tonight against Brookhaven.
Then one of the best backs in the state of Ohio. We'll see him in the Brookhaven uniform. We've seen him twice already, and he doesn't disappoint at all. He brings a lot of excitement.
Oh, this guy, Rodney Stewart, is special. Over 1,700 yards, 33 touchdowns. There's really not much else you can say about this kid. He is a highlight reel waiting to happen. 2 excellent stories with these programs. Who's going to prevail here tonight on CSN? Another gorgeous night for football. Let's take this time out. Kickoff is next here on CSN. CSN's coverage of the playoffs is presented by Sports Medicine Grant and Orthopedic Associates, and is brought to you by the Ohio State University Newark, 7-Up, the Central Ohio Technical College, and by the U.S. Army. Well, glad to have you with us. Division I action here on Saturday night. A cool night, but beautiful weather for football. Groveport has won the toss, or excuse me, Brookhaven has won the toss and has deferred till the second half. So Groveport will scrimmage first offensively. And the first quarter is brought to you by the National Scouting Report. Doing wonderful things for young people. If any young people and parents, I'm talking to you as well, are looking for some scholarship money, if you have a student athlete that's looking maybe Division II and even Division III, even though there's not athletic scholarship, there's academic money that can be put to use there. You give them a call. As I mentioned, Terry Mallory doing some wonderful things. So this is Prince DeBoya, and he is a freshman. They do have 2 solid kickers. And here is the return. This is Justin Bell. And Bell will bring it out across the 15 out to the 20-yard line. And let's go down to Matt Waddell, who has the weather forecast for us. Matt.
I'll tell you, Eric, for the second night in a row, gorgeous clear skies out here. Temperature about what it was when we started our game last night, mid-50s or so. It will drop throughout the evening. A little bit of breeze, maybe a little bit more than what we saw before, and it is blowing from the Brookhaven side toward the Groveport side. So a little bit across the field as we get underway. Grass field for us tonight, guys, so we'll certainly watch the footing. Up to you.
All righty, thank you very much, Matt. Jordan Elmore, after the injury to Scott Chapman early in the year, moved from his linebacker position to quarterback the Cruisers. He is just under a 50% passer, and they're going to run the football. This is Frank Johnson coming straight at us as he turns the near corner and is going to be stopped at the 25-yard line. Defensively, Trevante Wallace from his linebacker position is there to make the stop. Wallace moved from defensive end to linebacker for this ball game. As we told you about Jordan Elmore, one of the better defenders for the team as well, but had to move to quarterback after the injury to Scott Chapman, which, oh, by the way, is dressed, was taking snaps, and we may see Chapman in this ball game. Second down, and let's call it 8. Motion in Bell. Rolling is Elmore. And his first pass attempt complete to Frank Johnson across the 35 and has first down yardage at the 38-yard line. Going back and taking a look at the Bob Suzuki starting lineups, where Bob says yes, they run by committee, but it is Leveon Bell with 743 yards. The offensive line is pretty good. You have 3 or 4 returning starters there. Seth Nelson, the new guy, who is a 3-year starter, is the center as they moved him from defensive tackle, so he'll play both ways. There's a good defensive stop, but there is the running power of the fullback, Nick Goodrich, who is 6 feet, 190 pounds. Matt, you were talking to me before the telecast about how special he could be. Let's take a look at the Bob Suzuki, where Bob says yes, starting lineups. The down front people for the Bearcats: Madison Jr., Harrell, Wallace, and Bonner, the linebackers. And the defensive secondary is going to be playing close to the line of scrimmage. This is a hybrid offensive wing T for Groveport Madison, and they're looking at second down and 4. And they hand off. This is Leveon Bell, who we told you, who averages 8 yards a carry, and he'll have a first down as he brings it inside Bearcat territory at the 46-yard line.
Well, we get to see this, our hero of the game right there. Leveon Bell picking up another first down for these Groveport Cruisers as they're rocking and rolling here on this opening drive.
Kind of a similar offense we seen last night as St. Francis de Sales runs a very similar offense. Not tight like a traditional wing T, but it is sort of a hybrid. And right in between the tackles, off and running, Leveon Bell, and they won't catch him. Wow! 45-yard scamper for Leveon Bell, and just like that, Groveport Madison, the Cruisers, strike first blood. What a play!
Yep, what a play call. How well executed that was right there.
Oh, that was Nick Goodrich. We apologize. They got us confused, got us crossed up. That is the fullback, Nick Goodrich, not Leveon Bell. We told you they run by committee, and with all the motion in the backfield, it was 45 that had the big scamper. Now time for the 7-up extra point presented by Walmart. And Jordan Elmore with a flag down won't get the kick off, and we'll have to see what the flag's about. Well, Tom Blake, wow, what a job he's done. He is concerned. You can see it on his face. An outstanding record of 9-1. And now Jordan Elmore. High pass, and it's fumbled. And Brookhaven will pounce on the football, so the extra point goes awry. Circle that. That could play big. But Nick Goodrich goes big, 45 yards for number 45. As they strike first blood and got a couple of first downs on that drive, which began at the 20. Yep, 5 plays, 79 yards, and took 2 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock.
Well, Nick Goodrich, that was his 11th touchdown of the season. Right here, just a fake on the sweep. You give it right to Goodrich up the middle. And as fast as he was running, that 45 looked like 43. And all night it's going to be, as you said, run by committee. Leveon Bell and Goodrich could be getting confused all night. And the key is if we get confused, then sometimes the Bearcats are getting confused.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're going to see a lot of running backs for the Cruisers in this one. What a way to start the ball game. Remember, coming in with huge momentum, defeating Darby in a big way last week.
Number 4 team in the state in Division I, and going into their place and knocking them out. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Just incredible. And a little pooch kick. And it goes by the upbacks, and now Dominic Johnson has to track it down. Dominic Johnson is going to be dropped at the 9-yard line as he tried to reverse his field. And coming in and making that stop was Ciante Lockridge, the junior, 5'11", 170.
Well, there's no question the Groveport Cruisers put together an opening drive that, when you practice all week and you script it out, that's exactly how you want it to go. But, we know about this Bearcat offense. We've seen them two times. This is our 3rd time, and right there, Quante Braswell, their leader, comes up big in the big games, and they're going to bounce back, no question.
Outstanding touchdown to interception ratio, 16-4. The weapon behind him is Stewart. And now we have stoppage in play. Offsides against Brookhaven. So Tom Blake defensively, little breakdown in tackling in the middle of the field, and now a penalty before they snap their first play from scrimmage. Now the tight end moves over to the right. Braswell swing it out near side and was looking for Stewart on the swing and overthrew him. Let's take a look at the Bob Suzuki, where Bob says yes. Starting lineups for the backs and receivers for the Bearcats. Rodney Stewart, you know about him, 1,800 yards. Johnson, also a very good fullback. And Adrian Ferris, the wideout, could play a factor in this ball game. The offensive line, well, they've done a lot of moving around there. I mean, they have moved guys all over the place, but they are pretty darn good. And that play will go for naught, actually going to lose a yard behind the line of scrimmage. So now Groveport Madison's defense stepping up here early. And now Brookhaven deep in their own territory, looking at a 3rd down and 17. As you take a look at the 4-down linemen for the Cruisers, Bailey, Martin, Nelson, and Shepard. And then the 2 linebackers, King and Camden. And then they have the 5 DBs, but they play close to the line of scrimmage. And you'll see them playing kind of like a linebacker. That pass is complete, but for minimal gain at the 6-yard line. And all over his back, Tyler Dugan, the junior at 6 feet, 175, able to wrap up the tight end, Kevin Braswell. And wow, Bearcats totally shut down on their first offensive series.
Well, coming into this game, there's a few questions that need to be answered. One of them was Groveport hasn't been in the playoffs since 1988. Now, the question would be, are they just happy being here, or do they want to compete? And they've shown just on these first 2 series, they're here to compete, and they're here to win a football game.
Castle and Bell back to receive this punt from Rodney Stewart. And it's going to be marked dead at the 32-yard line. As Wes Edwards, number 2, gets down on special teams. But now the Cruisers on top 6-0, missed the PAT. Now scrimmaging on a very short field in Bearcat territory. 1st down and 10 at the 34.
I mentioned that this is only the Cruisers' first time since '98, 3rd overall in postseason play here. And on the other side of the ball for Brookhaven, it's their 11th appearance, state champs in 2004. So they're experienced when it comes to this territory. So but right now it looks like Groveport's been in the playoffs quite more often than Brookhaven has been.
Motion. This is Goodrich, another big hole. Goodrich off and running again, picks up 8 or 9 yards over right tackle.
When you look at running by committee, we talked about Leveon Bell. He's got all the yards. He's only got 5 touchdowns. But you talk about Nick Goodrich. He's got about 500 yards, but he's got all the touchdowns. He's the guy that somehow, he's the guy that is not the decoy. He goes the other way. Next thing you know, he's got 11 touchdowns in the season, which is a nice ratio for a fullback.
Now coming here is Frank Johnson, and Johnson is dragging people down to the 16-yard line and hanging on for dear life, Jarrell Brookins. And let's bring in the very classy Matt Waddell, Chris Miles is going to join us. Sorry, Chris.
Hey guys, Brookhaven's coach Tom Blake said before this game to make no mistakes, meaning no turnovers, and to make sure they don't play with a short field. Well, you see them here early in the first quarter, they're playing defense on a short field, so we'll pay attention to that, turnovers, and making sure they don't play on a short field. Guys?
All righty, thank you very much. And slipping down the new ball carrier that just came in for the Cruisers, that's number 36 there. That's Ray Pinnell. You'll see him carry the football about 8 to 10 times. The senior at 5'11", 235.
That's a big guy. That's a big fullback. That reminds me of fullback you like to talk about, Gizzy from Circleville.
Oh, you're going to say his name every week, and why not? We really fell in love with that young man in Circleville. Pinnell remains the fullback on 2nd down and 9. They'll play fake. Jump pass, far side, outstretched hands, too tall. Leveon Bell, the sophomore, the intended receiver on that far side.
And give credit to Wes Edwards coming off the edge right there. Little corner blitz. 5'9", 185-pound senior comes in. Last time we did this game, he was a big factor. Interception for a touchdown. When we saw them play, they turned the game around against Northland a couple weeks ago.
Those jump passes, we seen Reed do that last night.
Yeah.
He got picked off from Zanesville.
Get you in big trouble.
I'll talk about that here in a moment. The line to make is inside the 10, actually the 7-yard line, and looking to get it. 2nd and 3rd effort is Leveon Bell working the right side, and he's going to be about a yard or a yard and a half short. Why does a quarterback look to jump? Is it because he wants to get over the outstretched hands of the defensive line, or do they need to float the pass a little higher? As we take a look at they're going for it, 4th down. And they're going to run the toss, and they may get it as he's going to be hammered at the 5-yard line. Good pursuit there, and bringing the heat for Brookhaven, Cameron Gunnell, the senior at 5'10", 160, but it's all about the spot. And I believe they got it, so the drive stays alive for the Cruisers. What a call by Tim Brown.
Yeah, what a call by Tim Brown. They caught us off guard. We're in the middle of a conversation up here. They rush up to the line, they get a playoff, and they get it to their leading guy, Leveon Bell, and he goes outside on the quick pitch, gets the 1st down on 4th down. That's a huge pickup.
Pinnell, the lone tailback. Motion. Pinnell in between the tackles. Touchdown for the big fullback.
Well, it's been all by committee. There's no question. Pinnell right there on the touchdown run. Leveon Bell picked up the 1st down, and Nick Goodrich set the good field position up with that big run to start the drive. And as you mentioned, by committee, one thing that makes sense to me when you do that, it keeps everybody fresh. There's not just one guy you're focused on if you're a defense. You got to focus on a bunch of guys, and when you do that, you keep all these ball carriers fresh.
Now let's see. Tim Brown going for 2. To try to make it a 14-0 lead, and they do line up that way. Nick Goodrich returns. Pinnell on the right of Goodrich, and they're going to run the sweep. And here's Bell, and Bell's in for the 2-point conversion. Wow, we said running by committee, no doubt. There's been, 5 different people, I think, already who have carried the ball, at least 4.
Absolutely. Frank Johnson, you throw him in the mix, that's 4 for you, Eric. And you're wondering, you knock off number 4 in the state, number 1 in the region.
Right.
Your Darby created 8 turnovers, 5 interceptions last week, and you're thinking if you're going to have any momentum, and there's no question they have momentum offensively and defensively. Right there's the big guy. You love him. Big fullback going in there, Ray Pinnell. Tough to tackle a guy like that when there's a hole that wide.
Well, let's talk about the offensive line. McDowell, Tyler Knuckles, Max Hoyt, Seth Nelson, and Jerry Freeman. Oh, man, they are getting on their blocks, and they are moving the Bearcats off the line of scrimmage impressively. And, in fact, I think this is the biggest deficit that Brookhaven has faced this year. With a record of 9-1 at 5:44, quarter number one, trailing 14-0. Your scoring drive, 33 yards, 7 plays. This is Thomas Wickham, and that's going to go out of bounds at the 20-yard line. We were told that Jordan Elmore would kick as well, but it's going to be Thomas Wickham who's going to handle the kickoff duties. So we'll take a timeout. And Brookhaven going back on offense. They trail big, 14-0 here in the first quarter. Welcome back to CSN's coverage of the playoffs, presented by Sports Medicine Grant and Orthopedics Associates. Now movement on the offensive line as the tight end, Kevin Braswell, moves to the left, and then the left side of that line, the guard and tackle flinch, and that's going to cost Brookhaven another 5. That's their second penalty, and the second time that the procedure call has been thrown, or the flag. John Derryberry, our referee tonight, Bill Hildebrand, our umpire, Ronald Dunn, our linesman, James Lanise, our back judge, and Chris Beckstead, our back judge. So now, after the penalty is marked off, they're going to look to swing it again. This time, Rodney Stewart comes up with it. That's their third attempt to number 5 in the first reception by Rodney Stewart. Now let's bring in the very classy and very busy Matt Waddell, who had, this is his third ball game today, folks.
It's been a big day, and that's for sure, guys, but certainly been a lot of fun as well. I can tell you over here on this sideline, Groveport was excited before the game, and I bet you they have at least half again as many fans as Brookhaven does on this sideline, maybe twice as many fans. So they have been loud, and reason to be loud as the size and strength of Groveport has taken control so far. Eric, up to you.
Look out. He can go. Still on his motor, 25, 30, and he picks up 34 yards and then tack on another 15.
Well, Matt Waddell makes a good point, size and strength for the Groveport Cruisers, but there's speed on that other side of the football, and that's the Bearcats, and that's going to be the test tonight to see who can stop one another. If you can control that speed, or if you can push around that size and strength.
This is an offense that can strike quickly with that speed of Rodney Stewart. You've seen it there. Now the call. Dead ball, personal foul against Groveport. As we mentioned, tack on 15 and take another look as Stewart, once he got outside, picked up that one good block there by Braswell. He turned on the afterburner and was gone.
Woo. Well, the one good thing Coach Tom Blake can rely on is his seniors, and his senior quarterback Braswell is quite a leader, and there's no way he's gonna stop fighting in this football game.
Stewart is collared at the line of scrimmage. Look at the strength of Seth Nelson. We told you he moved from defensive tackle to be the center offensively, so playing both ways, he just ring-necked him there.
Oh, man. And it's tough to bring down Rodney Stewart, although he's not a big guy, 5'8", 174. He can move, and he's really shifty, but right there, as you mentioned, Nelson got him at the point of attack and just got him right around the pads there up high, and there's no way Rodney Stewart was going anywhere.
Spread the field, empty the backfield. Aquante's pass in the middle of the field, good for first down yardage, but then he drops the football, but I think the ground caused it. Is it complete? Yes, it is, and it's not a fumble as Stewart lost the football when he hit the ground. Now Coach Tom Blake's offense finding its rhythm, as now Aquante Braswell with the good vision. You've seen his touchdowns to interception ratio, so he doesn't force things, picks up good positive gain. Now first down and 10. Now a slot I as Demetrius Johnson, the fullback, is slotted over to the left. Now the tight end moves to the right for the Bearcats. running over right guard and tackle, trying to use a stiff arm, but can't get away from Brandon King. Number 44, able to wrap him up for a gain of, let's give him 2.5 to 3 on the play.
Yeah, nice play by King, but I like what Coach Tom Blake's doing for Brookhaven. He's trying to get Rodney Stewart, his guy, who's a playmaker, who's a difference maker, the ball in many different ways. We've seen him lined out a receiver. He's thrown the ball. He's hit slot. He catches the ball over the middle of the field. And obviously, from his running back position, we've seen a couple of delays. And right there, we just saw a little counter.
Now you have motion in Ferris, and it's going to be trips to the left side. And Rodney Stewart is going to get blocks from his wideouts, but then the defense with good lateral speed runs down the line of scrimmage, and B.J. Camden, the senior at 5'11", 230, able to put the hat on him and drop him for minimal gain, and it's third down. Let's call it 5 to go.
Yeah, and that's something impressive on that replay. If we get a chance to see it, Rodney Stewart, he's a small guy, 5'8", 174, as you saw his stats to play before, but he takes on hits and he takes on defenders. He's not afraid to, put his nose down and get his legs going. He doesn't always run outside and always use his speed. He's not afraid to lower the boom himself.
Camden was there, but it was actually Kevin Castle who was there to greet him. Big third down here is going to be, it's going to be close. If he gets to the 15, it's going to be a first down. So they may be looking at fourth and very short, depending on where they mark that football. And they are going to call for a measurement. So a good shot of the chain gang is going to come out, and we'll take a look and see. And they've got it by the nose of a football.
Eric, I'm surprised you didn't eyeball it from up here. Usually you're on that thing.
Yeah, well, they're on the right side of the field. We're sitting here at the 50, so.
Oh, man, usually you can say, keep those chains. I'll tell you what it is.
Well, Rodney Stewart shows his toughness, doesn't he, Matt?
Oh, man, right there, first point of contact right there, drives his legs and knows he's got to get a couple extra yards, and that's what he gets. And he's really carrying this team right now on this drive.
Spread the field out. Twin receivers to the near side, single receiver to the left. Now Ferris in motion and whistles. And a timeout, Brookhaven. So Tom Blake seen something, or they didn't have the right participants in for the play call. So they burn a timeout. But a very, very important possession for Brookhaven. And they're doing something with it because they needed to answer trailing 14-0, and the offense has found itself. Tune in to CSN for exciting football action north of the border, as CSN is bringing you CFL playoff action live on Sunday, November the 11th. See the best of the best in the East and the West semifinal coverage begins at 1 p.m. live only on CSN. Well, you say you like that football north of the border, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Any football is good football. Guys are running around tackling each other and throwing the ball around. I like to watch it.
Well, for those that are just joining us, Groveport took the opening possession and then struck first blood and then pinned Brookhaven deep. And on their first series had to punt, got the ball at the 35. And then scored another touchdown. And now on the second series for Brookhaven, now finding some offense and some first downs, trying to answer. They trail 14-0, but have a first down at 10 with the tight end on the left, and then some motion here to the right. Play fake as Aquane looks to throw, avoids the pressure, steps up, pump fakes, and then runs into his own player, but then gets what he can as he picks up 7 yards, and that is pure athleticism of Aquane Braswell there.
Yeah, great awareness from the quarterback position. And Eric, you alluded to it before, his numbers. He's got 16 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's thrown for over 1,200 yards. Right here, when he comes out of that boot fake, he steps up in the pocket because he has pressure. He's going to throw it maybe, but he does a smart thing that a senior quarterback should do, especially in the red zone. He pulls it down and gets a couple yards with his legs.
Rodney Stewart, the eye back, it's offset. He's going to get this carry. Big hole, look out! Inside the 5, touchdown, Rodney Stewart.
Well, there's no panic in the Bearcats. They just back to business. They're down 14-0. Well, let's find a way to get back in this football game, and that's to put together a nice drive, and it was led by that guy, Rodney Stewart, who jumped in for 6.
Wow, what an offensive series, and a big, big answer there. This may be Ibrahim Marah for the PAT. The 7-Up PAT presented by Walmart is up and good. And our new score, 14-7. Rodney Stewart's 9-yard scamper got him on the scoreboard as we take another look at the fine touchdown from number 5. Nice lead block there by Demetrius Johnson.
Yep, nice cut, and then gets north and south right away. Just sniffing that end zone, knowing he wants to get 6 points. This is the kind of situation when you go down 14-0 where the experience of being in the playoffs and winning the state championship pays off. You have a head coach who's been there before. He's telling these seniors, just relax, we're fine. If it's your first time, maybe on the other side of the football, you might panic a little bit, but not these Bearcats.
Well, and what a drive. 9 plays, 80-yard drive. Wow. Well, let's bring in Chris Miles, who has something for us. Chris?
Well, standing down here on the Brookhaven sidelines, the defensive coaches have been talking to the defense since their last drive ended, since Groveport's last drive ended, and they said slide to the gap, stay low, get to the spots. So let's see how that defense responds right now against Groveport, guys.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. We look forward to your reports throughout the ball game. He's going to bring us all of that home side team spirit and what's going on there. And Matt Waddell covering the Groveport sideline. And another good return across the 30 out to the 33 is Justin Bell, and then he's hammered down. A group of blue shirts there. Well, the Buckeyes had a very big game today, hosting the Wisconsin Badgers, who has beaten them at home more than anybody else in the Big Ten recently. But the Buckeyes prevail, and you need to tune in each and every Wednesday at 10 p.m. to catch CSN's coverage of the Ohio State Buckeyes on Buckeye Football Express, as we join Ray Crawford, Deion Miller, Gary Berry, and Greg Fry for the weekly highlights and analysis of the #1 team in the land. First down and 10. Again, working straight up the gut, and this is the fullback, Nick Goodrich, and he plows ahead for about 5 or 6.
Well, Eric, Chris Miles talked about the defense needs to step up. There's no question. Right now, they have not had an answer for this 4-headed monster that we rarely talk about. Usually you say maybe 2, 3 at the most, maybe 4 for Groveport here, and they have not had an answer. They need to come up with a way to slow them down. Maybe just get them it's a punt or something, a turnover or something, but they have to slow this offense down sooner or later.
Goodrich, the lone back. Jordan Elmore working from underneath center, now motion from Bell. And coming here near side, Frank Johnson. We told you, you can't key on one of those guys, just like we seen with St. Francis de Sales last night. There is a few guys that can run the football, but you got to credit the offensive line, because that's who's getting it done up front. Now let's bring in Matt Waddell.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what, Jordan Elmore, very impressive in what he has gone through, making that transformation linebacker to quarterback. And I can tell you so far, guys, on offense, it's very hard here at field level to see whether he has the ball and is play faked or is handed off. And you can see that on the Brookhaven side of things. Some of the guys outside are really having a hard time picking up whether he's got it or not on the play fakes.
Well, this time getting blasted, Frank Johnson running to the near side. A host of shirts there for Brookhaven, including Trevani Wallace again. There on another tackle. He has 3 for the ball game here in the first quarter.
You mentioned Trevani Wallace, man. 6 foot, 255, middle linebacker. 92 tackles, 7 sacks, and 10 tackles for loss. Keep your eye on this guy.
We've completed one, 14-7, but Groveport on the move again when we return. Welcome back, everybody. Our score, 14-7, as we completed one, along with the quarterback, Matt DeRazio. I'm Eric Thacker. Glad to have you with us. Big-time touchdown by Brookhaven. They run the best running back. They did what they needed to do. Quante Braswell did what he needed to do. They got the answer, but the Cruisers are cruising again.
Oh, man, this offense, Brookhaven's defense has got to come up for an answer for this Groveport offense, because right now they are clicking on all cylinders. In that whole first quarter they were as well.
As you take a look at Elmore on second down and 9, and now you counter, and this is Bell, and Bell's off to the races with one man to beat as he tries to outrun Brookins, and Brookins pushes him in the back, and he's dropped inside of the 5 down to the 3, a touchdown saving tackle by Gerald Brookins. What a run
Nice run by Leveon Bell. Nice blocking up front. And I'll tell you what, there's some nifty play calling right now. Coach Tim Brown has got these Bearcats on their heels. Misdirection, play fakes, counters, everything you can possibly throw at them. And it's impossible for these Bearcats to key on just one guy. And you can't emphasize that enough, how hard that is to defend.
Wow, the left side of that line, the offensive tackles and guards getting it done. First down and goal as they attack from the 3. And the right side of the line jumped. So that's going to bring it back. It cost them 5 yards. Looked like Max Hoyt on that right side. The senior left a little early.
Well, Ray Pinnell was in the backfield all by himself, and he's already got one on the night. With that big frame he has, 5'11", 235, you wouldn't expect to see him get the ball a couple more times. Now, penalties like that, they can come up huge. You'll see how Groveport can respond. You never want to move backwards when you're down that close.
Well, Coach Tim Brown in his 5th year, and this is his first head coaching job. He's been an assistant in West Virginia for a few years. As you take a look at the rushing yards, and it's an unbalanced line, and down to the 1-yard line, but not hitting pay dirt. There was Nick Goodrich.
Well, Brookhaven has got to respect that motion. Leveon Bell goes in flat motion. If you hand the ball to him, you got to get to the outside quick. And right there, Brookhaven's going one way, and then they hand it right back to Nick Goodrich, who's got 11 touchdowns on the season. So it is hard to defend. You have to respect everything they throw at you, because all these guys are capable of breaking a long one.
Second down with 2 tight ends, and Elmore over his center, right guard and tackle. Is he in? Touchdown, yes.
Well, Jordan Elmore gets a quarterback sneak, and the first thing that stood out to me when I saw him were his stats: 6'3", 225. That's a big quarterback for I don't care what league you're in, especially in high school. And that's a great way to use him right there, down by the goal line, that big body, get a push with that offensive line, just get over for another touchdown for the Groveport Cruisers.
So the Cruisers snatch momentum back away from Brookhaven. And now the 7-up extra point presented by Walmart is up and good. So Elmore splits the uprights, and our new score, 21-7. And a huge answer for Groveport as they lead again by 14. As we take another look at the offensive line surge and the dimensions of Jordan Elmore.
Oh, man, that's a big boy right there. 6'3", 225. And only you have to get a half a yard. And the offensive line that Groveport has, that's tough to stop.
Well, Galvin Bonner tried to hit him in the mouth and still couldn't stop him.
You know we were in for a shootout tonight, did you?
No, did not. Well, let's see what Brookhaven does as you take a look at the scoring drive, which took 6 plays, covered 68 yards, took 2 minutes and 16 seconds off the clock. And again, the 1-yard plunge by Elmore, but all set up from Johnson and Goodrich and Bell and the rest of the running backs behind that offensive line.
That long run Leveon Bell had down to the 1-yard line. You got to look back and say that counter play, misdirection, was humongous.
Yeah, and credit Gerald Brookins to get him in there, because you know, he chased him down and just hit him enough to keep him from going to the end zone, although they did eventually score anyway. So you have an option here as that kick goes out of bounds, and you may get it on the 35. You may elect to re-kick here. So there's the call. And let's see what Brookhaven, I think they'll want them to re-kick, because you have a lot of return speed back there with Rodney Stewart and Cameron Gunnell and Adrian Ferris. So we'll see what they want them to do. And they are going to move them back. Well, join CSN as we get behind the badge Friday, November the 9th. Come out to support your local police officers and the firefighters when they meet on the gridiron. They do this to raise money for the families of those who lost or critically injured in the line of duty. And you can catch the game on CSN Saturday, November the 10th at 2 and 6:30 p.m. Visit getbehindthebadge.org for more information. For additional replays, check out your local listings. And check out the return across the 35, so they gain 2 yards extra.
There you go.
And we'll see now how Brookhaven responds. They got a touchdown the last time that the offense was on the field, but they trail again by 14. This could be a track meet, as you mentioned, Matt, with Rodney Stewart, and then with Goodrich, Bell, and Johnson on the other side. This thing could be, we could have a lot of rushing yards. Now they move Rodney Stewart to the left slot, and they swing it out to him, and he tips it to himself and gets maybe a yard, and that's all. Defending there for the Cruisers was Kevin Castle, the senior, at 5'8", 165.
Yeah, nice play by Castle. They're trying to find different ways in Brookhaven to get the ball to Rodney Stewart. That couldn't agree with him more, but right here, Kevin Castle is all over it. That tip pass where Rodney Stewart has to take a second to bring it in gave Castle the opportunity to fly up and make a nice play.
2 tight ends in the ball game now for Brookhaven. Trying to turn the corner, and I'll tell you who disrupted that play. Once again, Seth Nelson is having a heck of a first quarter defensively for the Cruisers.
Yep, and B.J. Camden comes in with 51 tackles and cleans it up right after, you know, this is total team defense. They fly around, they're athletic, and, you know, the 5'11", 230-pound senior linebacker makes a big play right there.
Well, Tom Blake's Bearcats in a dogfight here. As you take a look, that's why I meant about Nelson there. Just made him go. There's a nice pitch and catch. Did he haul it in? It may even be intercepted. Let's see what the call is. B.J. Camden does come up with the pick. He was open in the middle of the field. John Bays, the senior, had it, tipped it to himself, and as he went down, it was B.J. Camden who comes up with the pick. What a play.
Well, we've seen John Bays in the past make quite a few plays right there. He wishes he had that one back after it bounced off his chest. But you know, you talk about teams sometimes getting all the breaks. Well, in this case right here, there's no question B.J. Camden makes his own breaks. He's flying around. He knows the ball's in the air. He's trying to make a play. And when that ball's in the air, he flies over and gets a huge interception for his team.
Wow, that thing did not touch the ground. What athleticism. And now Brookhaven, they need a stop, and they got it there on that first down play. Matt Waddell, what do you have for us?
Well, Eric and Matt, you were talking about how opportunistic the Groveport defense has been, and Kevin Castle, the DB, who came up and made that play. One of their senior leaders who has 5 interceptions, Justin Bell, with 5 interceptions. And anytime, guys, you pick off Jeremy Ebert from Hilliard Darby 5 times and create those 8 turnovers. This is a defense that is really primed and ready to go. You don't want any weeks that your defense is playing better than weeks 10 and 11, and they're coming out and taking advantage of their opportunities so far. And Castle certainly did it on that last drive as well.
Absolutely. Gain of 3. Now in motion. Here's Johnson. He's going to take the pitch. The blocking is there. But Brookhaven able to corral him for about a gain of 4, just short of the midfield stripe. And the Cruisers looking at a 3rd down, and let's call it about 3.
Yeah, Frank Johnson did the smart thing on the quick pitch, trying to get the perimeter. That's the goal. That's the goal that Tim Brown wants for his offense. Frank Johnson saw there was nothing there. You just put your head down and get what you get, because Brookhaven was flowing so well right there.
They need 3, the line to make the 47. Now you counter this side, and Bell is going to be wrapped up, and that's what they needed, a big defensive stop, and Trevani Wallace there once again, number 53.
Yep, 3 and out. That's the first stop this defense has had against the Cruisers this game. And you mentioned Trevani Wallace. Man, this guy is unbelievable. I talked about it before, 92 tackles. That's unbelievable. 7 sacks and 10 tackles for loss. And it was close to him getting another tackle for loss right there.
Well, they lined up to go for it. And now a timeout.
Try to draw him off sides a little bit right there. And
I like the call.
Yeah,
Tim Brown just trying to get him to maybe jump in the neutral zone to defend a 4th down and 3 play. But now there's no doubt they're going to kick. When you have a lead like this, you're going to pin them back, play field position, and you're up by 14, so just tilt the field a little bit.
Well, I like the fact that coaches right here, specifically Tim Brown, when you do everything through the course of a game to try to win a football game. Right there, trying to do something when you work on probably in practice, draw them off sides, things like that. You know, the halfback pass, the double passes, the reverses, the double counters that they've been running, the nifty plays they've been running. They're trying to win this football game. They're not holding anything back.
Matt, there's the difference of this season.
There you go.
Right there.
No, Eric, I've heard from a wise man once, if you score more points than the other team, you usually win.
I think I'd agree with that.
Okay.
Well, now Jordan Elmore back to punt the football away. The first punt for the Cruisers. And you got to be careful because you're kicking to some dangerous return guys. And it goes out of bounds at the, what, the 19 or 18-yard line. So we'll take a timeout. Brookhaven's defense stand tall that time, and they'll have a first down and 10 when we return, but they trail by 14. Brookhaven Stadium here in Columbus, and I'm Eric Thacker along with the quarterback Matt DeRazio, CSN's own Chris Miles, and the very busy and classy Matt Waddell. There you go, look out. He's a game breaker, and that was a touchdown saving tackle right there. If Tyler Sims doesn't clip him at the heels, he's gone.
Well, there's no question this guy's quicker than a hiccup. Rodney Stewart. Right there, he got the handoff, and he was out the gate. And as you mentioned, I don't know who it was, might have even been Justin Bell making that game, or excuse me, that touchdown saving tackle right there.
Well, Kevin Castle.
There you go.
Is the one that got him.
They're both flying around tonight.
There he goes again, trying to turn the corner, but Brandon King, the senior, got just a little bit of a bump on him that allowed the rest of the defensive linebackers to get in there and make that play. Well, if you've ever seen the explosiveness of number 5, you've seen it here in this football game. And he can change a football game in a heartbeat.
You usually sleep easy at night when you got a guy like that in your football team. Any point in the game, he can break one, and he just showed it to you right there. He almost had it right. Just got tripped up.
Ferris in motion. Play fake. No, he is going to work the right side, and all of a sudden now, the offensive line, Dede, Wallace, Prentice, Madison Jr., and Smith getting a little push on the defensive line of Groveport Madison.
Well, their defense Brookhaven's defense just stopped 3 and out for the first time, gave the offense the ball back. Now the offense is fired up. They understand they're in a football game, and Rodney Stewart is running hard tonight.
Juane Braswell, look at those numbers, averaging 8 yards a carry. Braswell gets the play from Coach Tom Blake. And there's another big hole. So now all of a sudden in between the tackles, B.J. Camden has to come in and stop him, but they're ripping off big play after big play now.
Yeah, and you talked about how he's averaging right now this game 8 yards a carry. For the seasons, he's averaging 10.3 yards a carry, and to me that's just unbelievable. Every time he touches the ball, he's getting a first down.
Yeah, it's a big hole there. And Brandon King got another piece of him, but had to wait and get some help. Trip receivers to the bottom of your screen. First down and 10. 3-step drop. Now flush. Backside pressure. Look out. And that pass too tall here on the near sideline. So the Cruisers got pressure that time on Braswell, and he alertly throws it away. Second down and 10. Now let's bring in Chris Miles. Chris?
Yep, I got Maureen Compton, American Red Cross Volunteer of the Week, husband band director here at Brookhaven. Now you have a special job. You feed the band members right before the game, is that correct?
Actually, after halftime, we invite the opposing team's band to come over, and we feed both bands.
Now, is that kind of a difficult thing to do, to feed the opposing team's band on the day of the game?
No, actually, they're always band members that have a camaraderie with each other because they do the same kind of job, and they're always very pleasant.
So no bragging rights on who's ahead at halftime or not?
Well, maybe sometimes.
Well, it's good to have you on our show. Guys, back to you.
Well, thank you. To find out how you can help save a life, go to bloodsaveslives.org.
Brookhaven's had a lot of bragging rights at halftime.
Yeah.
Their band has probably been talking a lot of trash.
Juane Braswell brings in the play. After the penalties marked off, second down and 15. Scrimmaging at the 46-yard line. Play fake. That pass. Oh, he had him open. Adrian Ferris on a down and out route was open and would have had a first down inside the 25. And that was all Braswell there, and he knows it. He missed it.
Well, give credit to Seth Nelson applying some pressure. Braswell just couldn't step into that throw because the big D tackle, Seth Nelson, 6'3", 225 junior, was right in his face. And when you got a D lineman right in your face, it's tough to make throws like that.
Spread the field. Stewart now slotted out to the left. And a timeout. Tom Blake again called it from the sideline. Saw something he didn't like, or he sees something that he wants to try to exploit. The last time they called a timeout in the first quarter, 2 plays later they scored.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. You can't take them with you into halftime. So if you see some miscommunication, see something you don't like, as you mentioned, Eric, call a timeout, get them on the same page, and get ready to run a great play.
All right, let's bring in Matt Waddell, who has something for us. Matt?
Well, I'll tell you guys, it gives us a chance here in a timeout to talk about something that Coach Tim Brown for the Cruisers has instilled here in his 5th year, coming off a 4-6 and 3-7 season the last 2 years, and even 0-10 in 2004 when these seniors were freshmen. He really challenged this team academically and really challenged the student body at Groveport Madison to have more guys come out for football, and as a reward, study tables really got picked up, and the kids really responded. There's no other Division I school in the area that doubled their participation, guys, and from 45 to 85 is what Groveport did for the size of their varsity staff, and you can see the effect it's had on them. 7-3, their best record in 2 decades, Eric.
Absolutely, and you're going to see them now year after year. All of a sudden, this team is going to make a move. Braswell avoids the rush, and then he's going to be blasted at the 47-yard line. And that's going to be recorded as a sack of a yard. So the Cruisers step up defensively and make a big stop there on the elusive Braswell as we take another look at the pass rush.
It looked like Bailey came in first and disrupted Braswell, and then once you get, as a quarterback, you get disrupted, you're trying to make a play. Your eyes go from downfield, try to make a play with your legs, and Braswell had no chance right there.
Got to look out. Rodney Stewart can run. He has a high pass, so he is going to punt the football away. And this is Justin Bell, and Bell's going to be buried right there at the 10-yard line. So special teams getting it done. Fans, don't forget that we like high school basketball as well. And hoops is just right around the corner, isn't it? And CSN will be courtside to bring you all of Central Ohio's best matchups. Coverage begins here shortly in December, here on the Columbus Sports Network, which is local sports now. So after the punt, first down at 10 as the Cruisers go back on offense. Jordan Elmore will turn and hand off, trying to turn the corner. Leveon Bell, and Bell's going to be hit out of bounds and runs into the field goal net, or the place kicker's net at the 24-yard line. No flag there, just going momentum with the play. Take a look at Groveport Madison's possessions. Their first 3 possessions, they scored 3 TDs, and that was their first punt their last time. So getting it done offensively.
The Bearcats had an answer for him last drive, but you know, when you're giving up 10 yards a pop just like that, especially when Groveport's backed up, that's not a good sign. And the one thing about this Groveport offense, as you said, run by committee, you never know who's getting the ball.
No. I mean, even when the offensive line do their techniques, they can crisscross you on a counter. Fumbled snap, and every now and then you have that happen with an offense like that, but Elmore able to pounce on that football.
Yeah, there's no question, because timing is so crucial. You got to get the snap at the right time, because there's a guy in motion that you may be handing off to, you may be faking to, but right there it looked like Elmore had called the snap a little early, juggled the snap, ball hit the turf, so he did the smart thing. Just pick it up and don't turn the ball over.
What was the toughest thing for you running that kind of offense?
Well, I'll tell you what, you need a lot of practice at it. It is the quarterback-center exchange. It always starts with that. If you can get that cleanly, it's almost like you don't ever have to think about it. You can think about everything else and just play football.
So it has to become second nature, just like breathing. It's automatic, right?
Just like breathing.
Well, Groveport's going to take a timeout. They want to talk things over, and they have a lead 21-7 as we are in the second quarter of play with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining.
Now, Eric, we talked about it last night. Zanesville, we did that game. It was kind of a Cinderella story. They hadn't been in the playoffs since 1997. Well, there's no question Groveport Madison is even bigger Cinderella story. Third time in the playoffs, first time since 1988. And as Matt mentioned, in 2004, when these seniors were freshmen, they went 0-10. That entire season, they didn't score over more than 14 points that whole season.
Only
in one game, no more than 14 points in one game, excuse me. So, you know, to go from there to where they are now is very impressive, and you got to credit Tim Brown, his staff, and these kids for believing and, you know, putting the time in the offseason, trusting these coaches, and going out there and playing great football.
You know, you mentioned their last playoff appearance in '88. And that was the last time they had a winning team.
There you go. It's a long time. Now the school's rallying. You see those fans over there. They're all here tonight.
Elmore on second down and 8. Going to look to throw. Steps up. Has an open receiver. That's Kevin Castle. And he hauls it in at the 48-yard line. So when you have that running game going, baby, you can play fake and roll it out, and a lot of times you'll find an open receiver.
Yeah, I think that was B.J. Camden. Yeah, it came from the tight end position. Looked like him on the defensive side of the ball when he made that interception.
I saw the 3. Thank you, Matt. Yep, that's B.J. Camden. Saw the 3 there and thought that that was Castle, who plays defensively, and thought they may have slipped him in there. But good catch there. And a good catch by B.J. Camden. First down and 10. And a good call and a good throw by Elmore. And this time, Nick Goodrich works the left side for minimal gain.
Tell you what, we knew all about Brookhaven, the kind of athletes they have and the guys that can make plays. But Groveport has really shown us something tonight. They got people all over the field that can make plays. And you look at a middle linebacker playing tight end and B.J. Camden and making the interception that he made, juggling the ball, flying to it, making a great catch. And then you just saw on that big corner route right there, you know, the ball's over his head. You got to make a nice adjustment. You catch it with your hands and you secure the ball on the first down.
Try it here near side, and this time going down the line of scrimmage, and there's number 82, DJ Griggs, the sophomore at 6 feet 200, and he's seen enough of that counter with Bell, and this time it wasn't going anywhere, and it's third down and 10.
Yeah, and Griggs has a nice season as well. He's got 38 tackles on the year, and he's playing assignment football. As you mentioned, he doesn't like that jet sweep anymore. He said, I'm gonna stay home. You see it coming at me, I'm going to make a nice sound tackle, and that's what he did.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the largest third down that the Cruisers have faced. Jordan Elmore needs 10. Backside pressure, hammered, and he let it go, and that could be a grounding penalty, but no. Frank Johnson, number 21, was there, so what an alert. Elmore alertly throws that football. That's not a penalty, and that's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, and he did not see that coming. That was Wes Edwards coming from the safety blitz. That's the second time he's put pressure on Elmore, and right here, Elmore's got his eyes downfield, and Edwards, boy, what a hit he puts on that big fella.
T-Mac hit of the half right there as Wes Edwards gets credited with that. But how about Jordan Elmore and being alert to throw that football at the feet of Frank Johnson? That football is blocked as they came in and got it. And if I'm not mistaken, that could be Jarrell Brookins. Yeah.
Jarrell Brookins.
Jarrell Brookins, 24.
This is a guy who's got 5 interceptions on the season, 2 for touchdowns and 45 tackles, and he makes a huge special teams play right there. Just came off the edge and kind of like if you see a replay, just politely almost says, I'm going to block this thing. Sticks his right hand out, takes it off the punter's foot, and you know it's plays like that can completely change a football game.
Absolutely. So now Brookhaven gets momentum. First down and 10 at the 42-yard line of Groveport Madison, trailing by 14, 21-7 with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left here in the first half. And now the offense is confused. And now the tight end moves over to the right. Braswell, and they look to run that way. And look out! He breaks another tackle inside the 25, down to the 23, and I mean to tell you, Rodney Stewart hits that hole faster than anybody we've seen this year.
No question. You know, before the play, you saw that the coaches were trying to direct traffic down there, and Aquante Braswell was just calm, and he knew he had a downhill toss to Rodney Stewart, and as you say, Rodney Stewart catches this toss, and he is just like he's shot out of a can. He makes one or two cuts, and he is gone.
There he goes again. Wow, making a highlight film as he hurdles a defender inside of the 10. And now Brookhaven on the move has a first down and goal.
You know what, Eric, I'm going to go all the way back to the defense getting their first stop. They get a stop, they get their second stop, then they get a block punt. And now all of a sudden there's all kinds of momentum for the offense. And it almost looks as if it's ignited Rodney Stewart in this offense for the Bearcats.
Offset eye. Stewart, 7 yards deep. The tight end now moves to the left. Stewart splits the linebackers, and then with his power is down, and he is in the end zone to score. Rodney Stewart shows you all of his attributes here on the last 3 plays from scrimmage.
Oh my goodness, 35 touchdowns on the season, which is just mind-boggling. And tonight you look at his stats right there, that is so impressive. And he has played quite a football game, and he's got his Bearcats right back in this game.
So now here is Prince Gaboya for the PAT, brought to you by 7-Up and Walmart, and it is good. So our new score with 94 seconds remaining. The Bearcats ride Rodney Stewart and inch closer, 21-14. This is what I mean about the attributes. The cutback, the vision, and then the power inside of the 5. Oh my, he is an electric back. And you see backs with speed. You see backs with great 40 times. You see backs with great cutback moves. You see backs with great vision. You see backs with great balance. This guy is the complete package. And again, I feel that from the backs we've seen, that's the best one in Columbus I've seen.
Eric, I'm getting the feeling you really like this guy.
Yes, I do. Now, we've got some other good running backs.
Oh, no question. This guy's cream of the crop.
Absolutely.
No
Isaiah Pede's another fine one. Well, now the Brookhaven faithful are up and making some noise. Here comes Kevin Castle, and Castle keeps his balance and is going to be dropped at the 34-yard line. Well, you know the playoffs are running, and CSN brings you all kinds of great local sporting events, and you can catch your favorite CSN broadcast on DVD. From the high school ranks to the professional ranks, and my good friend Dan Boots Longinette from the Third Mile Paved Oval is in the house tonight. So yes, we have stock car racing as well. All of your favorite sports action on CSN can be relived by ordering your copy on DVD. First down and 10. Groveport needs to get momentum back. They are on top by 7, rolling it out, looking to throw. Elmore is chased. Now he throws it up toward the wide open Frank Johnson. Johnson is off to the races. They won't catch him. Johnson inside the 5, touchdown, Groveport Madison. All I can say, Matt, is wow.
I'll tell you what, we were in for a shootout. And talk about taking the wind out of the Bearcat sails. They were right back in it. 3-play drive, touchdown Rodney Stewart. And I'll tell you what, Jordan Elmore puts some serious touch on that football and throws a perfect pass to Frank Johnson. And I'll tell you what, he showed some speed himself.
Yes, he did. He got away from the pressure. Well, we've had a lot of 7-Up extra points presented by Walmart here tonight, haven't we? We're still in the first half. We still have 73 seconds remaining. And now we have a stoppage play here. Illegal substitution to call on Brookhaven, so they'll get half the distance to the goal there. Well, if you wanted scoring, you came to the right place. You wanted offense, you came to the right place. With the PAT coming, it could be back to a 14-point lead. Groveport has answered every time Brookhaven has made a statement. High pass, they get it down. The kick is off to the left. So that PAT goes awry. And that is their second missed, but they did make it up when they went for 2 on their second touchdown. Let's take another look and relive this big play.
I'll tell you what, as this play was transpiring, I'm looking down the field. I'm thinking there's no way anybody's going to be open. And Jordan Elmar just kept his eyes downfield. He saw Frank Johnson come all the way across the field. And he just dropped it right in, almost as if he handed it to him. And the cutback by Frank Johnson was just special. And he showed his jets, and he got right into the end zone. Tell you what, 66-yard touchdown reception, that's a way to answer right there.
And if I'm not mistaken, was that the one-play drive? Did they have a play before that one? I don't think so. That was a one-play, 66-yard drive. And there it is. Yeah.
Well, there you go. And you like those. If you're Coach Tim Brown, you like those one-play drives.
27-14. And we still have a minute and 17 seconds remaining, or a minute 13 seconds remaining.
And we think we got more left in us in this half. A couple of touchdowns?
Yeah, we might. Thomas Wickham to give this football a wallop. It's a little pooch. That's a live football. Calls for a fair catch at the 35. And then Kevin Braswell should get 15 yards after being touched after he called fair catch.
Well, he did the smart thing. The ball was
and they're not going to get it.
Signal for the fair catch. He did the right thing, and it was almost as if he was just barely touched. I don't know if it was a 15-yarder. I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
We don't
disagree on much.
You can't touch him at all.
It's hard to slow down your momentum a little bit. Maybe you didn't see
That's
it.
True.
Benefit
That's
of the doubt.
Okay. Our first disagreement. That's okay.
Week 11.
First down and 10 now Brookhaven. What will they do offensively to try to answer? They have Stewart 7 yards back. And now you have motion, and now you have a delay of game.
Saw him sneak on?
Nope, yep, that's an illegal substitution. And Darrell Bird was trying to make his way on the field, and that's what it was. And they're screaming at Bird, the coaching staff here on the near side. Bird tried to sneak in there as the 12th man. Warming up the leg there as Prince Gaboya hoping to get a chance. Tied in now on the right. Johnson in motion. Look out. He's off and running again. Stewart. Couple men to beat. Stop the clock as they move the chains. He is running with authority, and he is a man on a mission, no doubt. You can tell by the way he's running.
Oh, my goodness. When he gets the handoff, you can almost see the linebackers taking the angle of pursuit backwards. So they're saying, oh, my goodness, he's going to get to 20 yards before I can get to 5. And you saw right there, you saw B.J. Camden. He just turned right around and said, I got to make this play, but I'm going to have to run at the angle pursuit to try to get to him.
7-step drop in the middle of the field. Oh, he had him open on a post route. As Dominic Johnson, when he slanted in on the post, they missed him. That would have been a big pitch and catch, but you still have one timeout for Brookhaven in 49 seconds. Yeah, this one, they missed that one.
Yeah, he had him open in the middle of the field. And I know Quante Braswell would like to have that one back.
Doesn't miss many.
No, not many at all.
155 yards rushing in the first half off of 16 carries. That's just under 10. And that's what he averages. Another 7-step drop. This time, oh my. Oh, that's a heartbreaker right there. That is Bays' second drop of the first half. And frustration on Braswell because he put it right in the breadbasket there.
Yeah, he did. And John Bays doesn't drop many passes. In fact, 2 weeks ago against Northland, we did the game, and he was the player of the game because of how well his hands were that night and how many touchdowns he scored that night. And tonight he has just struggled a little bit with 2 big drops.
Well, the clock stops. 45 seconds. 3 receivers. Braswell sets up the screen. And it's Stewart. And well defensed, only a gain of 1, wrapping him up and making that play nowhere to go. Brandon King, number 44.
Yeah, Brandon King read his assignments. Nice play by him. Senior linebacker, 5'10", 195 pounds, 37 tackles on the year. And this is a big one right here because this is a screen. And if Rodney Stewart gets an inch, man, he can go take it to the house. And give credit to Brandon King making a big play and staying home.
Clock now down to 11 seconds. Let's see if they just heave one toward the end zone. They're going to run. And you got to tackle him. And the clock's going to run out. I thought there may be 1 second or 2 seconds left, but the clock is going to run out.
Where are we playing this
and
game?
there should be a couple of seconds left on the clock. I'm sorry. Yes, there should be. And now they're saying, nope, first half's over. And it's been an exciting first half, 27-14 as they go into the locker room.
No question exciting. You know, that's a chance you take when you run the ball right there. And, you know, Rodney Stewart's trying to get out of bounds. He got tackled before he got out of bounds, and the clock just ran out. But
well, the clock needs to stop because they got to move the chains for the first down.
Well, you'd think we're playing at Groveport then, huh?
No, I'm not saying that.
Usually, you know.
No, I'm not a kid. I'm just saying that, you know, when he's tackled, if he's tackled in bounds, it still stops the clock to move the chains, regardless if it goes out of bounds or not. Yeah. All righty, Matt Waddell standing by with the coach. Matt.
Eric, thanks very much. Coach, obviously a great half offensively for you. Assess what you were able to do with your size and your strength and your misdirection a little bit on offense.
You know, the guys did a good job up front. We had a couple, you know, series late that we didn't block right up front. Messed us up a little bit, but all in all, pretty good job up front.
Stewart was able to get some yards as we got through the half a little bit, but each time your offense seemed to have an answer. Defensively, what do you do to stop number 5 a little bit?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, he's very fast, but you know, we got some adjustments, and hopefully we can wear down some of the big boys in front of him. He's an exceptional running back.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
Coach Brown on the sidelines, guys. Up to you.
All righty, thank you very much, Matt Waddell. 27-14. Ooh, running up and down the field. A lot of speed here. Great first half. Stay tuned. We have our halftime festivities here on CSN. CSN would like to thank our cable partners, Insight, Time Warner, and WOW. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the first half stats. Big numbers, as there was a lot of scoring. And let's bring in Matt D'Orazio. Look at the rushing yards. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, rushing yards even. You look at that pass yards, 108 for Groveport. And he came on that one pass play with 66 yards. And that can be a difference right there. A backbreaker almost for Brookhaven going into half. But the one turnover for Brookhaven also stands out. It's just a matter of who responds in the second half.
All righty, Chris Miles is standing by with Coach Tom Blake. Chris?
Coach, what did you tell your guys down 27-14 at the half?
Well, we told them not to panic, you know, because we can put some points on the board. You know, they came out hard. Those guys are playing hard over there. They're executing, doing a good job. And we didn't wrap up, didn't do a good job of tackling in the first couple drives. They put 2 quick ones on us. And then we got caught with our eyes in the backfield, and they got behind us on a couple. But we're not going to panic. The kids know they have the ability to score, and we got to come out and play a better second half.
It seems like every time you guys got down, you came right back and answered. What do you have to do now in the second half to answer?
Well, just like I say, you know, we have to execute. We can't have the penalties and miscues that we had on offense. We wasted a couple timeouts, and on defense, we started settling down and tackling better. You know, we just have to read our keys on the defensive side and not get caught with our pants down.
Coach, appreciate your time. Good luck in the second half. Guys, back to you.
All righty, Chris, good job there, and absolutely. Now, the nice thing for Brookhaven, if you're a Bearcat fan, is you get the ball to start the second half of play.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's a guy on that side of the ball that's had a great first half. In fact, ridiculous numbers. Rushing, Rodney Stewart, 17 carries, 162 yards. That's and 2 touchdowns, long 33. That's 9.5 yards a carry. That's pretty special.
No doubt. Well, the second half underway. Going to be fielded at the 21-yard line. Brookhaven has speed out to the 39-yard line. It doesn't matter who has the ball. At that time, Darrell Bird, the junior, the wideout here on special teams, and gives his team excellent field position in which to work. First down and 10 as they trail by 13, 27-14. As you talked about, Matt, Rodney Stewart, especially in middle to the end of the second quarter. The offensive line was giving him huge holes, and he was busting right through them. So let's see if Brookhaven can pick up where they left off with the running game on 1st down and 10. He cuts back, and he's going to be hammered right there at the line of scrimmage. A host of red and white shirts there, including Quan Bailey, the sophomore at 5'8", 175, was there defensively number 18.
There's no question. Coach Tim Brown came at halftime, told his players from Groveport, said, if you can stop this guy, Rodney Stewart, you're going to give ourselves a chance to win this football game. Make Quante Braswell, the quarterback, beat you with his arm.
Brandon King, number 44, was the first one to greet him defensively. Play action on the delay. Turn and roll. Good protection. Now he's got to put the football on his hip and take off, and he picks up 6 or 7 yards. Credit the defense. Took away any of the receivers' routes. So he did what he does best. Quante Braswell, that good downfield vision, just gets what he can.
Yeah, makes great decisions. We talked. I was just saying, make him beat him with your arm. Well, he also can prove right there he can run the ball, and it's his decision making that just makes him special. Right there, nothing downfield, as you mentioned. Coverage great for Groveport. Tuck the ball and run and pick up what you can on 2nd down and make it a 3rd and 5.
The line to make is the midfield strike. Look at that number. That's what they do. That's a hitch pass, and that's complete to Adrian Ferris. And he'll have the 1st down. A very safe, nice hitch route, and it keeps the drive alive.
Yeah, when the Quante Braswell is clicking on all cylinders, and then you throw Rodney Stewart in there, it is really tough to defend. If it's just Rodney Stewart, you can focus on him and shut him down. But when it's a two-man game, there's no question. It's a tough team to stop.
Spread the field out. Twin receivers to the bottom of your screen. Single receiver on the far side as Quante Braswell gives direction, and now we'll work underneath center. We'll turn, hand off, and trying to turn the corner as he outruns Tyler Dugan is Rodney Stewart, but Dugan did his job, made him stretch it out a little bit more and made him move laterally.
Yeah, he did. You know, the one thing about him, though, if you stretch him out, he does have that speed to hit the corner, and right here it looked like he may have been caught up, but he hit that afterburner, and he picked up a nice little chunk on 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, even when you take the corner away, that's just pure speed, folks. That's just pure speed. 2nd down and 5. 3-step drop, pump fake, looking for a fly pattern. Now he steps behind the line of scrimmage, and that's the thing, even though that's incomplete, that's the kind of athleticism he has. I mean, he is definitely a pure quarterback back there.
Well, he tried to put one in, only place that his guy could get it there, Kevin Braswell, the tight end, and everything was taken away and just made another smart decision. That's what this kid does. Quante Braswell, great quarterback, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, as we mentioned. He has an interception on tonight, which is a rare thing for him. Passed for over 1,200 yards this season, but the best thing about him, he's a leader, and he makes great decisions.
Another 3rd down to convert here. 3rd down and 6. The line to make is the 40. We'll call it 3rd down and 5. We're just over the 40. And they're going to run, and they're going to be about a yard short. But scrimmaging at the 41-yard line, Coach Tom Blake may give it a go. Well, special thanks to Groveport and Coach Tim Brown, the AD Michael George, the band director Sarah Brown. From Brookhaven, Coach Tom Blake, AD Jeremy Frolich, and the band director Bill Compton. The student volunteers from the Brookhaven girls basketball team. Special thank you to you ladies, Lacey McClure, Keisha Mann, Jordan Stanhope, Monique Hughes, and Kiana Fontes, and Daytona Ball. Thank you, ladies. And that punt almost marked down at the goal line, but it goes into the end zone. So Brookhaven almost pinned them back. So now Groveport will scrimmage 1st down and 10 at the 20-yard line, but we're going to take a timeout first. Cruisers on top by 13, 27-14 here on CSN. It's the CSN presentation of the playoffs presented by Sports Medicine Grant and Orthopedic Associates. And on first down and 10, look out! Off to the races, they're not going to get him. Goodrich. They did catch him, but not before he goes big down to the 5-yard line. Oh my!
Tell you what, Goodrich has shown great speed, and that little
serious speed.
That little quick dive that he gets, he's out the gate. Look at those numbers: 8 yards, 149 yards, and a touchdown. He just gets that quick little dive play, and he's gone.
74 yards. Wow! And it took Julius Miller to save a touchdown. First down and goal now as they attack. And Pinnell is upended. They took the legs right from under him. And that was a good defensive stop. Couldn't tell who was there first as there's a big pile there. But I saw him go down as the legs were taken out from under him.
Eric, that's a great play by Nick Goodrich. No question, showing speed. But you have to give credit to Julius Miller, not giving up on the play, making a huge tackle, making the Groveport Cruisers earn it. And you never know what can happen. Giving your defense a second chance. And when you got hustle guys like that who don't give up on the play, you got to be proud when you're Coach Tom Blake.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
That's
he chased him down. Yeah, it is impressive. Let's see if they can hold him out of the end zone, and that could be big, you know. Confusion. The Cruisers are confused offensively, and they're going to have to burn a timeout. 74 yards on that. They've hit some big ones tonight. And that's the second big one that he's had. Well, you know, we're going to be along with all the teams here in Central Ohio as the playoffs continue. Gridiron action heads into the regional semis. And as I mentioned, CSN will be there to showcase all of Central Ohio's finest teams. Check your local listings throughout November as teams battle their way to the state title. It's all here on the Columbus Sports Network, which is local sports now.
Say that nice, man. I like that. It just rolls off your tongue.
Well, you got to jump in there.
Yeah, let me know. Hey,
Randy has Jeff Logan. You gotta come in, and crank it up.
Yeah, you give me a little nudge. I'll give you a now.
Rushing yards, 254 for Groveport Madison, and they're not done yet. That was well defensed. That was well defensed on that toss. So you go back to that tackle of Julius Miller. I mean, there you go. It's third down and goal.
Yeah, and the pressure was given by Wes Edwards. Once again, he has been flying into that backfield and just creating havoc at times. You know he's a tremendous defensive player, but when you force it back inside, you know your guys are flowing. That's all you have to do. If he lets him outside, then it could be a touchdown. So he's playing assignment football very well, Wes Edwards.
Got to look out for a little counter or a play action pass here. Yep, they run. And yep, they did it. They had me full, took it out of the belly of Nick Goodrich, and Elmore turns the corner on the right side and no one there to contain him.
Yeah, put it in the belly, faked us out up here, and Jordan Elmore showed some speed with that big frame, 6'3", 225, got to the edge, and another big touchdown for this offense. This offense has been clicking.
Wow. I mean, just impressive. With the PAT coming, the 7-up extra point, brought to you by Walmart. And this can make it a 20-point lead. And the kick is up and on the money. So our new score, 34-14. And the touchdown, pulled it out of the belly. That is Jordan Elmore as he scores from 5 yards out. An 80-yard drive, which took 4 plays, and the big one The big one by Nick Goodrich of 74 yards that set that whole thing up. Matt Waddell, what do you have?
Well, it's a big answer, guys, to come right back down the field and extend this back to a 3-score game. You know, we talked about the year 2004, the year that Brookhaven won the state title in Division II. That year in Division I, the Groveport Cruisers were 0-10. You talk about where these two teams have gone in the last 3 seasons. So anybody that's a senior on this team, as Matt was saying earlier, as a freshman, as they were trying to build this program up, they've done it within one class from freshman to senior year of going 0-10 to being on the field, and so far kind of having their way with the state titleists from just a few years back, guys.
And you mentioned, Matt, the fact that they were able to dress twice as many than they had before. Now a complete high school football team in Division I. But Brookhaven still has weapons, and they still have speed too. Dominic Johnson loses the football, but they get it back. Oh my, that could have been a disaster.
Yeah. For a moment there, looked like Dominic Johnson might have the corner, maybe break one, and just forgot that he had the football, slipped right out and did the smart thing to jump on it.
As we mentioned, 4 plays, 80 yards, minute 46. Elmore's 5-yard run, but again, it was all capped off by Nick Goodrich's big one. And yeah, I thought he was going to break it. That thing just came right out of there.
There it is.
I mean, just whoop. I mean, he's running and then
hot potato
right out of there. Play fake, Braswell. Boom, that's a personal foul. Yep, yeah, you know, it's Seth Nelson didn't do that deliberately.
No.
That was just aggressiveness, trying to get to the quarterback. When he slipped, he couldn't stop his momentum. That one was a judgment call. And,
I'll give you that one, Eric. We disagreed last time. I'll agree this time.
So they're going to get 15 there. John Derryberry, our referee.
Foul, roughing the passer. It's automatic first down.
Yep. Not automatic because of the personal foul, automatic because it's 15 yards. And as he slipped. Well, you know what?
Talk about that footing.
He could have stopped. Yeah, he could have stopped.
Talk about that footing. Could be a play with this natural grass. And right there it was as Braswell tried to set his feet to throw. And Seth Nelson couldn't slow down, as you mentioned. Might have had a chance to, but he certainly should have tried to avoid Braswell if possible.
Good call. First down and 10. Spread the field. Twin receivers to the bottom of your screen. Throw the bubble screen. Is the blocking there? Yes, as John Bays. And that's what you need. One of the wide receivers has to block for the other one.
Yeah, and Dominic Johnson got the chance to, after almost that long kickoff
Bays
return.
on the block.
Yeah, Bays on the block. And,
right.
And he's a big fellow himself, and that's the guy you want if you're Johnson carrying the ball. You want a big receiver, and Bays blocking for you.
Absolutely. That's how that bubble screen, or slip screen, if you will. More of a slip screen there.
I will.
Bubble is when you kind of come, then come back. That was more of a slip screen. Am I right in that?
Yeah, the funny thing is there's different terminology for anything. You can say just about whatever you want as long as you tell everybody
Can
else.
I say it's a power right off tackle?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, right,
You just got to tell your guys that.
Well, there's power right off tackle and close to a first down as he twists.
That penalty could be huge because essentially, Brookhaven would have lost 8 to 10 yards.
Right.
And Braswell goes down, changes the whole complexion of this drive, and all of a sudden,
good point. Yep.
They're across midfield. Rodney Stewart just got another first down, and all of a sudden he's in a groove. And obviously, down by 3 scores, you got to make something happen when the clock's ticking away.
Confusion defensively. Let's see if they exploit it. Going big, has a man inside the 5. Touchdown, John Bays. They were mixed up defensively, and I wondered if they seen it. And no doubt, Aquane Braswell saw the defense in confusion and hit on a huge strike.
Yeah, you can't. When Braswell sees the defense down, he takes advantage of it. And John Bays had dropped 2 passes early in the first half, and he makes up for it right there in the big touchdown catch.
The 7-up extra point presented by Walmart. And we've had a lot of whistles and flags on extra points here in this ball game.
We've had so many.
Procedure. Brookhaven.
A lot of touchdowns today, Eric.
Yeah, and I credit both teams. Brookhaven has answered when they needed to, but then Groveport comes back and answers when Brookhaven answers.
Yeah, Groveport's offense been playing well. Brookhaven's offense been playing well. It's quite a shootout.
Good pass. The hold is true. The kick, I think, is missed left. Yep, and our new score. It's a 14-point ball game, 34-20. The defense was confused. Aquane Braswell knew it, and he went after him and finds John Bays, who hangs on and gets the touchdown.
It's a perfectly thrown football right there. Bays beats his guy. You put it out where only he can get it in the outside shoulder and just dropped it right into his belly.
43 yards. So now, what does Groveport do? Well, Johnson, Bell, and Goodrich. And Elmore.
And Elmore, he's got 2 rushing touchdowns himself. I mean, this is one thing about that offense we talked about. There are quite a few people that have contributed.
What a way to kick off the playoffs in Division I here on CSN.
Week 1, we got a dandy.
Yes. Groveport's peaking at the right time, too. Brookhaven's been good all year. Groveport is peaking at the right time. And there's no doubt you want to play your best football at the end of the year. And this is going to be fielded by Justin Bell. And Bell is off and running. Bell with a crack at the 45. Bell out to the 48-yard line.
And we saw a flag as John
Bays late hit too. Yep.
Jumped on the ball carrier there, Bell. He was trying to get him down. We saw the flag, and that's a nice return. That's a nice answer for Groveport.
Answer after answer after answer for both teams. So somebody needs to make a defensive stop.
There you go.
And which defense is going to do it?
Let's see what Derryberry has to say.
Face mask on blue, he said. That's 5 yards. Tack that on at the end of the play. So that'll put the football in Brookhaven territory right around the 48 or 47-yard line. And call it the 47. And just got enough of it. And couldn't see it there, but just got his fingers in there.
Bays trying to get that ball out, maybe hooked the face mask, and sometimes that happens.
Elmore. Now scrimmage. Another big hole. Fumble. And they got it back. Nick Goodrich put the football on the turf, but credit Frank Johnson. Did he come up with it?
Yes, he did, and that's hustling right there. We talk about some teams get the breaks. Well, the reason they got that break is they made it themselves. Ball's on the ground. Frank Johnson could have been dogging it on the selling the fake. He's a little flat motion right there. He's not dogging. He's selling the fake, and all of a sudden he's downfield, and he saves the day there for the Groveport Cruisers.
Oh, he sure does. And you got to credit the hit too. Let's see. Yep, because he popped that thing right out of there.
Brookins knocked that thing out.
Brookins knocked it out. Punched it out with the right hand. Big fumble recovery for Frank Johnson. And he's going to get this carry near side, and no running room here. Just too many people in a crowd.
There's another guy, Darrell Powell right there, 85 tackles, 5 sacks. He's flying up from that linebacker position. I think these defensive guys from Brookhaven are trying to make a statement. They're sending a message here. They just put the helmet on the football, almost create a turnover. Now the defense is flying around, and they got to make a statement of their own and say, hey, if we make a stop, our offense is going to keep scoring.
Yeah, they need a stop right here. Clock running at 4:30. Oh, and Pinnell's tripped up. Nice tackle, Trevani Wallace rather.
Yeah, and he's a special one.
Yeah.
There's no question. This guy's quite a football player. He's got all the stats. He's got the size. He's got the tenacity you want from the middle linebacker, and he's been making plays all season. He hopes to be making them next week. That's why he's playing so hard right now.
Well, Coach Tim Brown has 2 downs here. Scrimmaging just inside the 30 at the 29-yard line on 3rd down and 8. Looking to throw, and he's going to be sacked back at the 40. What a huge sack there by Demetrius Johnson. Or check that, Wes Edwards is the one that went in there and ate him up.
Yeah, Wes
huge
Edwards.
sack for Brookhaven.
2 times he's gotten close. And Elmore got rid of it that one time. You gave him credit for getting it out. But Wes Edwards gets in there, gets a big sack. You see his line right there, his stat line right there. And he has been close twice, but this time he comes up with a big defensive play. And Brookhaven needed it. Defensively, they needed it right now.
We said 2-down territory, not now, not with the lead, not when you're scrimmaging at the 41. You protect the lead, try to tilt the field. They come at him again. Remember, they blocked one, and it'll go out of bounds inside of the 25 somewhere. And it's going to be marked as they come up the near sideline at the 24-yard line. So Brookhaven has a defensive stop.
Yes.
And they needed it. They trail by 14. 3 minutes and 11 seconds left, quarter number 3. And they're putting their offense, which is very dangerous, back on the field. And let's see if they air it out or go back to Rodney Stewart. John Bays flanked out to the far side. And now Braswell's telling him to get further out there. And now all of a sudden with the confusion, the Bearcats have to call a timeout. Or no, it is going to be a flag. And it's going to be a procedure penalty, and that'll cost them 5 yards. That is their 5th procedure penalty in this ball game. Chris Miles, what do you have?
Now, don't count Brookhaven out just yet. Remember, they made history in 2004 by becoming the first City League school to win a state title in 2004 in Division II. Remember, they are the first City League school to host a Division I game here tonight. So don't count Brookhaven out just yet, guys.
Going on the fly pattern. Oh, wow, that would have been a highlight reel catch for Kevin Braswell if he hauled. And I thought for a second he was going to snag that thing.
Yeah, he put it up high. That's a big frame to throw at. And Kevin Braswell, 6'1", 215. He had a hand on it. I know he liked to have to hold that one in and just missed it.
I like going down the field like that. You know, number 5 sitting back there, and they're going to think, well, airing it out. You hear about the run to set up the pass. How about the pass to set up the run? 2nd down and 15. Stewart has blockers. Stewart has running room. Stewart cuts back at the 30 and is going to be ridden out of bounds after he gains 10 yards, where it's going to be 3rd down and 5. Now let's bring in Matt Waddell.
Well, guys, as we move along in this ball game, field conditions actually have stayed pretty good, and we're really not seeing that the field has that sheen and that slickness to it. But we did see some of the Groveport guys struggling just a bit in pregame warmups with their footing. Game gets a little bit later, get a little tired, and a guy like Rodney Stewart, you get one missed tackle in one play, and the guy could be gone for 6. So we'll certainly watch that, and Groveport will certainly want him to be sending a lot of hats to the ball and not get stuck in a one-on-one situation where you'd see a slip.
They need 5. The line to make is the 35. And they're going to run for it, and then he's stopped. Oh, in traffic. I believe B.J. Camden got him. And if I'm not mistaken, number 31.
And he's made a couple great plays on both sides of the football. And
there he is.
Defensively, man, what a huge play. And they get the ball right back for their offense and saying, you know, when the offense has the ball for Groveport, they have a great chance to run this clock down and keep this offense of Brookhaven off the field and secure this victory. And right now, the way the defense is playing from Groveport, right, especially in that series, they're looking strong.
They answer touchdown with their own. Now they answer defensively after Brookhaven. So answer for answer. And Rodney Stewart's punt, after he flirted with it a little bit, is going to get a nice roll. So this is just going to add to his stats. It's going to be marked dead at the 25-yard line. But when the Cruisers had it at the 20 on their previous possession, they went 80 yards in 4 plays. They're on top by 14 with 90 seconds remaining, quarter number 3.
And there's no question they're going to stay with it's got them here this whole season, running by committee, hold on to the football, don't turn the football over, and maybe see what they can do, put together a long drive, maybe an 8 to 10 player, take off a huge chunk of time, and maybe put Brookhaven kind of in the corner.
Donald Prentice will come in as a defensive tackle on this defensive series for Brookhaven. 1st down and 10, Cruisers. Belly give, and good for a couple.
Nick Goodrich right there on the little dive play. Like I said,
actually got 4. I only gave him 2. He got 4 actually.
Well, he's a kind of a big guy himself. He just falls forward. He gets a couple extra yards, and the way he's been pumping his legs all night, it's hard to bring him down on first contact.
1 minute left. Quarter number 3. 2nd down and 6 for Groveport Madison, on top by 14. Play fake rolling. Elmore has this near side. He's at the 40, and he's ridden out of bounds at the 42-yard line, and that's good enough for a first down.
That's the second time we've seen that play. And then the thing that's been special for Tim Brown, head coach of Groveport, that his play calling has been great. He's been calling each play at the right time, and the key to that is the execution. The play calling is great timing, and the execution's been perfect. And as a coach, you got to love that.
Frank Johnson on a nice seal block to allow him to turn the corner here. Clock stopped. 46 seconds remaining in the 3rd. Motion now in Bell. And again, wow, look at the fullback after contact. Gets a couple of extra yards. Is that Nick Goodrich again, 45, coming off the pile? Nope, that is Pinnell, 36. Ray Pinnell, as you mentioned, his dimensions, 5'11", 235.
Yeah, he's big like that fullback from Circleville, Gizzy.
That's 3 times. We're going to have a Gizzy club. We're going to have a Gizzy club. 2nd down, 6. And that may have been the last play of the 3rd quarter. And yep, they're going to let it expire. So we'll take a timeout. This one still in doubt. It's still anybody's ball game, but the Cruisers on top by 14. Welcome back, everybody. Groveport on top, 14, as we start the 4th quarter of play. We talked about each team answering Matt D'Orazio offensively. Now we get an answer defensively.
Yeah, both defenses kind of stood up there in that 3rd quarter. Now what it is if Groveport can grind this thing out offensively and keep that offensive Brookhaven off the field, we're going to have a great chance to be playing next week.
Let's go back down to the field as we get ready to start the 4th quarter of play. And the 4th quarter is brought to you by the National Scouting Report, professional guidance for your student athlete as they explore the next level. And minimal gain of only a couple. It's going to bring up possession down, 3rd down. Let's call it 4. The line to make is the 49. Well,
this is the kind of drive that we called for. If you're a Groveport fan, you want to kind of grind it out as much as you can. You know, 1st down here, and they're hustling up to the line. I like this, that when Tim Brown does this.
They run a toss. Johnson, and he's hemmed in. Nice stop there, Gerald Brookins and company.
He came flying up. He read it. That worked one time. It didn't work this time. Brookins made an adjustment, and he came flying up. And he really stuck it to Frank Johnson right there.
Oh, and how about DJ Greggs, too?
There's quite a few of them there.
So now, no doubt, Tim Brown's going to punt this one away. You just know that Rodney Stewart back there on to return a punt. See if they kick to him. I don't think they will. Jordan Elmore knows that number 5 can take it back to the house. High punt. Really no chance for a return here. Oh, he picks it up on the fly. That was a gutsy move, and he brings it out to the 38-yard line. He picked up 15 yards by doing that.
Yeah, we got a flag in the play, and we saw that against Beechcroft earlier this year where he picked it up and he took one to the house, and I think he had the same vision right there.
Nice memory there, yeah.
Couldn't forget a play like that. It was a special one.
That's right. And tack on 5.
There you go. Still in this ball game, down 2 scores.
At 10:41, and again, this is something that you don't regularly see. A return specialist, no.
You're not coaching that. Coach Tom Blake's not coaching that. That's just taking a chance. As a senior, he wants to win. Has a lot of confidence. Catches that ball off the bounce, and it worked before, and essentially it worked right there.
John Bays is flanked out wide to the far side of the field. And Groveport Madison in a cover 2 defense with their safeties. And they're going to look to hit a pressure and sacked at the 35-yard line. Oh, what a big sack there. Number 16, or no, that's 18. That's Quan Bailey, the defensive end, the sophomore, at 5'8", 175 pounds, who came in with 2.5 sacks and gets a big one there. And that is going to be our T-Mac hit of the half. How about that, number 18?
Coming in with his 4th sack of the season, and he comes in and came at a great time.
So another defensive big play. And it's 2nd down and 19. Trying to get it back. Oh, he eludes that one. Stewart off to the right, says down to the 45-yard line as he rips off, what, 19 yards there? Wow.
And we've been talking about it all year. Every chance we got a chance to cover this guy, and we're talking about it all night tonight. He can break one at any time.
You remember what
chunks of yards.
Remember what I said in the Beechcroft game late in the 4th quarter when he kept running? I said I'm done.
You've seen enough?
I've seen enough. I'm done.
Well, he's shown it tonight. See those stats.
He's hit the 200 mark, and he's not done yet. They'll play fake to him. Now he's got to avoid the rush. Here's a little throwback. That's a dangerous pass, and it's intercepted. Tyler Dugan. Dugan tipped it to himself. What a defensive play there.
What a play by Dugan. What a rare mistake you see by Braswell. I don't know. Typically you don't see that. He's only got 4 interceptions on the year. He's got 2 tonight, and he tried to force something right there. You don't normally see that from the senior quarterback. But he's trying to make a play. He's looking at that scoreboard. And I'll tell you what, you got to give credit to Dugan. What an athletic play he makes. Ball comes back his way. He tips it, keeps his eye on the ball, and makes a wonderful play.
And there's that jump pass again.
Get you in trouble every time, Eric.
I don't like seeing quarterbacks jump. That's 3 times we've seen it here in the last 2 nights, and all 3 times it's been bad results. Now you hit him with Goodrich, and Goodrich with 9 big yards there on 1st down and 10. Oh, wow, they're running up and down the field, and Matt Waddell, what you have?
Guys, you want to talk about an opportunistic defense. The last 7 quarters, Groveport has been on the field, and they've only been playing 9-0 Hilliard Darby and 9-1 Brookhaven. They have 7 picks in their last 7 quarters, 5 off Jeremy Ebert last week. A couple huge ones tonight. They're coming up big against fast, athletic teams, and boy, that was a big one right there to be up 2 scores and have the ball back now, guys.
No doubt about that one, but as Matt D'Orazio mentioned, that was all Braswell. He shouldn't have forced that one. But yes, very opportunistic. And now doing what they do best. Look at him running over people there, Nick Goodrich.
Oh man, he's running with a purpose, and he sees the chance to be playing next week. They have been doing it a long time over in Groveport, and they're 8 minutes and 38 seconds away from doing it. He's running like he wants to be there.
Here is the T-Mac hit of the half being delivered by the fullback. Oh my. How would you like to be on the receiving end of that? And he is still down, and let's hope that he is okay.
Tell you what, with running like that, we're having tons of T-Mac hit of the halves. They're all over the place.
Take another look at that. Wow.
And that's Brookins.
That's Brookins.
Down.
And Brookins not afraid to
he's
sacrifice himself for a stop.
He's had a great football game. A couple big plays, block punt. And right there he's down. Hopefully he's got the wind knocked out of him. He'll be back up and finishing this game strong.
So as they take a look at Brookins, and let's hope that he's okay, we're going to take a timeout. Groveport Madison on top by 14. Welcome back, everybody, and a class act by Groveport Madison. The Cruisers were all huddled around the near sideline and hoping that they would see Brookins get up. He does get up, walks off under his own power. You see him there. One heck of a football player for the Bearcats, and we are glad to see that. Again, and I applaud the Cruisers of Groveport. They were concerned as well for him and applauded on his return to the sideline. So quickly now, they get ready to scrimmage, 1st down and 10. Keep on running with Goodrich as he picks up 4.
Goodrich's got some crazy numbers himself. He's approaching the 200-yard mark, and on very few carries, he's been a big play after big play, and then he shows that he can lower the boom as well as he did on Brookings there and play prior. And it's quite a running back.
Yeah, then they have Leveon Bell, Frank Johnson.
And don't forget the big fellow there.
Oh, now Pinnell. We're not
Ray
really
Pinnell
out there.
Gizzy.
And you had movement. This is a penalty of 5 yards.
Oh wow!
Well, they called a timeout beforehand. So Brookhaven will take a timeout here and regroup. They need another defensive stop. And that'll give me a chance to tell you that this copyrighted telecast is the sole property of the Columbus Sports Network and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, publication, reproduction, transmission, or unauthorized use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this telecast without the express written consent of the Columbus Sports Network is strictly prohibited. Groveport, Madison. And, we knew they were a good team when they got a hold of Pickerington Central in a ball game that seemed the Cruisers, they were in that one, could have won it. And we all knew that they were for real, but who would have thought? And I'll admit, I'm guilty of it too. I didn't think that game against Darby was going to go Groveport's way, and I don't think a lot of people thought that.
No,
Groveport believed it.
Yeah, that's about the only people probably in Central Ohio, and good for them because they proved it. And the thing about them is they lost 3 games this year. They lost to 3 playoff teams, and they were in every single one of those games. So we know this team is battle tested.
And taking on a very athletic Brookhaven team. They have a 14-point lead and marching again. 2nd down and 7. Run some counter. This is Bell. Bell's going to be tripped up. Let's hope he's okay. His leg kind of got turned ugly, but he does get up.
Credit Glenn Madison right there. First guy to hit him. 58 tackles on the season. That's a big play right there. You got to get the ball back for your offense, and he steps up, makes a big play on that counter, and kind of wrestles Bell down to the ground. Waits for his other guys to fly over.
The toss. Halfback option wide open, and it's a huge touchdown. Oh my! Bringing out some little trickery and finding Chris Payne, the 6'1", 160-pound junior, on a little halfback option toss.
And Eric, that's what I was talking about earlier. Coach Tim Brown for the Groveport Madison Cruisers is pulling out all the stops. He understands that to play next week, you got to give everything you got. And right there just shows it for you. We've seen counters, reverses. And right here, we see a little halfback pass, and it paid off big time.
With the PAT coming, that could be the touchdown that seals the deal. The 7-up extra point presented by Walmart. Guess what? Flag.
Oh, encroachment on the defense.
So you're jinxing these extra points, aren't you?
Yeah, you tried to get me to jinx them last night. It didn't happen, though.
Well, I'm talking about jinxing from the penalty standpoint. We've had one every single time.
I know it.
What a game.
Absolutely. Groveport, we still have 6 minutes remaining, 5 minutes, 57 seconds. And still, there's still time. That time that kick is on the money. So our new score, 41-20. And the fans in red and black, they can feel it now. Pulling out all the stops.
Yep.
And Chris Payne, the junior, gets the biggest touchdown this year for him.
Absolutely. Came at the right time. And to me, that is showing respect for Brookhaven, because you're only up by 2 scores, and there's 7 minutes left. This game is not over. They're trying to win a game. They pull that play out because they got to keep scoring.
And you know why? The first 2 defensive on the first 2 previous plays, Brookhaven made a stop. They were getting aggressive. And how do you counter aggressiveness like that? Plays like that, And Matt Waddell, what do you have for us?
Well, I'll tell you, Eric, all night long the atmosphere on the Groveport sideline has been tremendous. They were up and loud before the game started, and with each score, or whether the team's looking for a big defensive stand, the crowd's been standing basically the whole game, and it brought a whole lot of people to the north end of town from the southeast side, Eric.
Yes, they have. And now Thomas Wickham ready to give the football a wallop. And Brookhaven needs points in a hurry, and they actually need a return. And that's somebody that could do it. If he has the wall and gets a corner, he has one blocker. And at the 45 at the midfield stripe, this may be Johnson. That was not Stewart.
No,
it was Johnson. Yes, it was. And he has some wheels too. So a short field for Brookhaven. Still some time here. And let's see.
Well, you obviously got to mix in Rodney Stewart because of his big playability, and you see Dominic Johnson coming around the wall, as you mentioned, and he had a big return last time he had a chance, would fumble it, and this time he doesn't. He hangs on and gets across midfield. But you got to think Quante Braswell is going to have to throw it around a little bit, see if they can't get it back on the board quick.
Absolutely. And they hit Stewart right up the middle. Stewart bounces around and has 9, or give him 8 rather, down to the 46-yard line.
You got to get in your hurry up, no huddle probably right here. Get lined up as fast as possible. And you look at the possessions there for the Bearcats: punt, touchdown, punt, interception. To me, that's a huge credit to the Groveport defense, stopping an offense like this.
Yeah, they have under 120 yards of offense before that play right there in the second half. 2 tight ends. Pitch, complete, Bird, and his knee was down at the 30. So his knee was down. Or Bays, rather, not Bird, Bays. John Bays. And the clock will stop to move the chains.
And you have to hurry things up here. If they get in the huddle and in and out of the huddle as fast as possible, call the play. Be a play ahead if you're the offensive coordinator calling these plays, and you got to communicate to Braswell and get him going.
Tight end on the left. 3 receiver package, pump fake. And that far out route over the head. And Justin Bell was looking to jump on that one. Number 2 out there on that far side. Clock stops on the incompletion, 5:41 left.
Yeah, and once again, Braswell gets a little pressure, and it was from Quan Bailey, a DN coming off the edge. He's been putting pressure on Braswell all night. If it's not him, it's been any number of those guys in the Groveport uniform.
Second down. And you know that you're going to get positive gain with Rodney Stewart, but they need big chunks, more than that, like he gave them in the second quarter.
Eric, not to question Coach Tom Blake, obviously, wonderful coach, state champs and everything, but you think back to that 4th and short they had when they punted, and late in that third quarter where they could have maybe gone for it and gained some momentum. They gave the ball back to Groveport and they went down and scored, and that was something that just kind of stuck out of my mind when they punted that ball away.
Rolling, pressure in his face, and then wrapped up. Oh, big time tackle by Caleb Shepard, number 60. Now he was chasing him all the way and didn't give up pursuit, and was able to get him his 6th sack of the year.
Well, Shepard, I was going to say, he's quite a football player, senior, 6 foot 220, and he can run. He just showed you right there, ran down Braswell, who can run a little bit himself, and to get his 6th sack of the year shows he's had a great season.
4th down. Actually, doesn't go in as a sack. He got a half a yard on that.
Okay.
So, gave him a sack, got to take it away. We're sorry. Looking to throw on 4th down, pressured again. Now he's going to heave it toward the end zone. Then he may have it. That's a touchdown. I do believe, yes it is. What a catch by Kevin Braswell. Oh, my.
Well, Quante Braswell was rolling around trying to make a play, and I was looking downfield, and I saw Kevin Braswell say, just point up, say throw it in the air and give me a chance, and that's exactly what Quante Braswell did. And what a catch by Kevin Braswell, getting his foot in, making the catch, and getting a quick touchdown, exactly what the Bearcats needed.
On 4th down and 9, you think it's all over then for Brookhaven, and they come right back. 7-Up extra point. It's been a busy one for 7-Up in Walmart. Gaboya, his kick is up and on the money, so now it's back to a lead of just what? 16 or 14, I mean, sorry. And take another look. He was flushed, and we talked about the downfield position, downfield vision. That's what I meant. And there, he got that foot in. That
absolutely, absolutely well thrown football. 4th down, you got to give your guy a chance, and that's exactly what he did. Caught a little block from Stewart, which is nice to see from him.
He was waving, wasn't he?
Yeah, he said, throw it up there, give me a chance, and no, it paid off.
So a 14-point game now. Right when you think Brookhaven's out, they strike. Now, I think they have 1 timeout remaining. You have 4:13, and you got to think at this point, you got to think they may have to go for the onside here. 6 plays, 56 yards. The 30-yard touchdown to Braswell took 2 minutes and 37 seconds off the clock. So let's see if we don't have an onside opportunity here. And Ibrahim Marah is the one that's going to kick this, and it does look like they're going to go for the onside, or they may just try to pooch it straight up in the air. It is a live ball, so the receiving team does have to cover this kick. And here they come with the onside. No, illegal, touched it. They touched it before it went 10 yards. And he was offsides as well. And offside. So you have two things there. Now you can do it again. You mark off the 5. So what I'm saying is the receiving team does not get a chance to get the ball where they want it. You know, if you kick it out of bounds, it can go on the 35. But in this case, they have to move him back 5.
So they get another shot. Hopefully they can execute it better and give themselves a chance to maybe get the football back.
Absolutely. Well, they may kick this one deep now or try to pooch it right around the 40 or so. Let's see. Yep, they're going to try the onside again. Knuckler, it's live, and Groveport gets it.
Quan Bailey jumped on that one.
Sure did.
He's had a heck of a ball game.
Yes, he has, number 18. Well, now Brookhaven needs a stop. And Groveport, they're thinking one thing, first downs. The offensive line, McDowell, Knuckles, Hoyt, Nelson, and Freeman have done their job. Now it's Goodrich, Bell, and Johnson, and Elmore in the backfield that need first downs to try to secure this as we take a look at the onside kick.
It's a better attempt, definitely down the field. Ball squirting around a little bit. A little more vertical than you want, past 10 yards. Right there, a little mistake and trying to jump on it, but Bailey gets on it and gets the ball back.
Well, Matt Waddell has a very special guest, Matt.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what, down here on the sidelines with Dan Boots, and we heard your first name for the first time tonight. I know most people just know you as Boots, and joining up with Eric with the Columbus Motor Speedway. Tell us a little bit about that and what we can maybe look forward to a bit, and then we'll talk about your Groveport connection.
Oh, we'll give you a little input, a little secret. I'm probably not supposed to tell you fans at home this, but we are paving the midfield at the Speedway. It's going to be the X. So those fans of you that saw our little dusty show at the bus race, you're going to have a treat this year because it's going to be paved and you'll get to see the whole thing. And we're going to have some other races that we're working on for next year's season. So,
as you and I have been standing here talking on the sidelines too, you said you've been to just about all the Groveport games this year. Tell us your connection with your guy on the offensive line.
Well, Tyler Knuckles, number 57, has a place in my heart. I work on his race car with him and his dad. His dad and me are real good buddies, and never been to Groveport till this year, so fair weather fan by luck, and I'm going to see some outstanding football these last few weeks.
Well, we appreciate your time and look forward to the coming season for the Motor Speedway. I know Eric does too.
Oh, I can't wait. Number one, it'll be warm. Number two, we'll be watching racing, so I can't wait.
Appreciate your time, man. Thanks. All right. Eric, up to you.
Yeah, Boots hates the cold, no doubt. And Tyler Knuckles has blocked a beauty, and yes, he can drive a race car as good as anybody as well. First down and 10 for the Cruisers, and then you have offsides there on Brookhaven as they tried to jump the snap. So exciting stuff at the 3rd mile paved oval with an X being paved for our special bus races and all in the future. And again, we look forward to bringing you the lap-by-lap coverage of the Columbus Motor Speedway next year. And of course, this reminder as well, we're going to have a special stock car magazine show for you in the next couple of weeks or so, recapping what has happened in Obetz in the Central Ohio NASCAR scene, and share some information, give you some highlights as we get ready for next season. Well, now the Cruisers, after the penalty, are looking at 1st down and 5, and they have a lead of 14. And here's Elmore, and he's going to be wrapped up, actually going to lose a couple of yards. 2nd down and 8.
There's no question you got to have a 3 and out if you're Brookhaven, or you need to create a turnover. So when you're trying to tackle the ball carrier, you got to strip the ball, you got to hold it up, and the next guy's got to come in and try to pop it out and get that ball back for your offense as soon as possible.
Yeah, and you got to be careful of what's going on behind you too, because last time they had a couple of good defensive stops during a series. Then all of a sudden, Groveport Madison on the halfback toss option was able to strike big on a touchdown as they were able to find Chris Payne. Clock running, 3:25, and they're just taking all the time that they can. And another fine stop at the line of scrimmage by Brookhaven. Let's see who comes up with that tackle. That is Darrell Powell. Well, it's time to introduce our players of the game, presented by the Bowling Green State University. Nick Goodrich, 14 rushes for 187 yards. He's not done yet. He'll come back in probably, and has a touchdown as well. 45, played huge and showed some wheels as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Big play after big play. Those are crazy stats right there. And the stat that he's probably most proud of right now, the fact that his team's in control and they got a good chance to win this football game.
Now you bring in the big fullback, and now you don't run a little counter, and you have some motion here. This play's coming back. Bell's big run's coming back. You had an illegal shift or motion, whatever you want to call it, but that's coming back. Bell didn't know that.
No, he's just playing hard.
Yeah.
He's just playing hard.
Now they're deciding now where the spot of the foul was to determine where they're going to mark off the penalty, and now here's the call.
See what Derryberry has to say.
There it is, illegal shift. Or there was 2 penalties. What they did, they declined. There were 3 penalties. Okay, they declined the illegal shift. They declined the personal foul. They take the holding penalty, and why? Because that is a spot of the foul penalty, and that will move them back a little bit. So that's you sometimes see 2 penalties on one team, but 3? I don't think I've ever seen 3 on one team where they said no to the first 2 and then picked up 3. Well, now time to introduce you to our player of the game, again presented by Bowling Green State University. And no surprise there, Rodney Stewart wants another shot. He wants another week of football too. 26 rushes, 211 yards, and 2 TDs for that outstanding running back. High pass on 3rd down, and it's a quick kick. A quick kick And oh no, that's a live football. That is a live football, and Brookhaven will see their season come to an end.
The quick kick on third down was a surprise, but it paid off for Tim Brown. You're thinking maybe they run one more running play and wind the clock down a little even further, but they kick it deep. They catch Brookhaven off guard, and it pays off because right there, Brookins runs into the ball, goes off his legs, and Johnny on the spot, Frank Johnson, jumps right on and picks the ball back up for the Groveport Cruisers.
What a turn of events here at Brookhaven High School. High pass back to Elmore, who is the punter. The quick kick, excellent call, Tim Brown. And then it caught him on the foot. That's just bad luck. That is just, you know, you can't fault Gerald Brookins. He tried to get out of the way. It's an oblong shaped thing, and sometimes it takes some funny bounces. So inside the 5, then you run Pinnell. And wow, Brookhaven's season will come to an end. There's Donald Prentice there, the right guard. And that was Nick Goodrich there. That was on that carry. Thought Prentice snuck in there, number 36. Nope. 90 seconds remaining. And just letting the clock wind down. Groveport Madison, they're for real, folks. What they did here tonight, look out.
No question, I couldn't agree with you more.
And 45 will get it again. Goodrich down to the 1-yard line. And when the pile comes off, we'll be at about 58 seconds or so when they wind the clock.
We're talking about knocking off number 4 in the state in Darby, who was on a roll like no other.
Right.
And to come in here at Brookhaven, pull off a win, and a convincing win at that. Offensively look very strong. Defensively, they, for the most part, contained this offense. Rodney Stewart got quite a few yards, but at the same time, they held them down point-wise as much as they needed to. And this Groveport football team is for real.
One more play. And they're just going to go over a tackle and guard, and it's 4th down. So they don't need to snap it again. Now let's take a look at the Shawnee State play of the game. And it was the big halfback option that secured it. Chris Payne all alone. And he hits the big touchdown that secured the victory for the Cruisers of Groveport Madison. And the clock expires. Our final score, 41-27. Tim Brown gets a bath. Why not? He coached a beauty, and he had a couple of nice offensive calls.
Oh, no question. He was on the ball, calling a great game tonight, and his players went out there and they executed on defense and offense and special teams, and you got to be proud of his kids.
And we got to give congratulations to Coach Tom Blake as well, and Brookhaven Bearcats. Remember, he was the coach that took the first City League team, whether it was Columbus, Cincinnati, or Cleveland, to win a state title. They were Division II then, moved up to Division I, but he's a good one.
Oh,
I mean, he is a fantastic coach, and I know him and his kids are heartbroken tonight.
Class act all the way.
They are a class act, have a fine program, and they'll be back next year. As this program is now just year after year is just going to keep rolling.
Yeah, they're top notch in the City League, and it's because of that guy right there. He has really instilled some discipline in this team and put together a great coaching staff, and these players that go out there and they play hard for him, and you know they can't hang their head at all. 9-1 regular season. They lose a heartbreaker tonight, but no question, Coach Blake is an unbelievable guy, unbelievable coach, and a class act all the way.
Well, Coach Tim Brown, in his 5th year, gets a big victory, and the Cruisers cruise on to week 2. We'll be back after this. What a ball game here. The first round of the Division I playoffs on CSN presented by Sports Medicine Grant and Orthopedic Associates, and it didn't disappoint. Your final score 41-27 in a ball game that's seen a lot of offense, and then the defense started to step up late in the ball game. Groveport does what they haven't done. They've won a playoff game. First time in history that the Cruisers have won a playoff game. So congratulations to them. They played their hearts out tonight.
No question, well deserved. And they came out early and they set the tone. They took it all the way to the end until there were zeros on the board, and they're the winners tonight.
And I believe that Matt Waddell standing by with the winning coach. Matt.
Guys, thanks very much. Obviously, Coach, congratulations, a great win. I know it's been a long time coming for these kids at Groveport. Talk about how you're feeling about this accomplishment. I know you're super proud of them.
You know, unfortunately, being a coach this long, all I can think about is next week. But, you know, you got to learn to enjoy these. And we tell the kids, you know, enjoy tonight, enjoy tomorrow, and then it's back to work. And that's the way it's been all week. And, man, these kids really came to play. And what an opponent. Boy, you couldn't let down your guard for a second.
You obviously played a very talented athletic team, and we spoke about that a bit at the half. It seemed like, though, every time Brookhaven looked like they were going to get back within a score or two, you guys will come up with an answer, and you just hit big play after big play on them most of the game.
You know, the skill kids are great that we have, but it's one in the trenches, and our offensive line just controlled the offensive line, controlled the game the whole time, and our defensive line had a little bit of trouble tonight. Usually they're the ones controlling the game, but when you get kids with that kind of speed, my gosh, you know, it's tough.
Congratulations again. Thanks for your time and a great win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Brown of the Cruisers, guys,
well,
over to you.
Once again, congratulations. Thank you, Matt Waddell. Wonderful job tonight here on CSN. Well, this just in, guys. We got a rematch next week. Hilliard Derby is going to take on the Cruisers, so they'll be looking for a little payback. And Groveport goes into that game with all kinds of momentum, don't they? Well, now let's go ahead and as we bring Chris Miles in and take a look at the Applebee's stats of the ball game.
Well, if you look at the graphic on the screen, total yards, the biggest difference in this one. Groveport 456, Brookhaven just 294. And that was the biggest difference in this game.
Yeah, you talk about the turnovers. 2 turnovers for Brookhaven. They came up huge, and you got to give credit to this Groveport defense who has just created turnover after turnover this whole season.
Well, outstanding ball game, no doubt about it. What I liked is the fact that when Brookhaven answered a Groveport touchdown, then, you know, they answered it. But then they answered defensively, too. When Brookhaven finally made a defensive stop, then Groveport made a defensive stop.
Well, Coach said before this game, he said, hey, no turnovers, and we win the game, and you see 2 turnovers. It's very costly in this one.
Well, we had a lot of highlights. Glad that you stayed with us as the first week of the playoffs are in the book here on CSN. As we say goodnight to you for Chris Miles and both the Matts, D'Orazio and Waddell, I'm Eric Becker. Good night, everybody.
This has been a presentation of CSN, the Columbus Sports Network.